There's just a lot of Asian food. Really nice. Right under review. Okay, ma'am. Real nice.
Okay.
Every time we go in there, her daughter's in there and show us chapter.
All right.
Shh.
Sorry.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Groton Mayor and Council meeting for Monday, February 3rd, 2025. We are a hybrid meeting with Zoom and in person. Roll call, please call, clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Hedrick, Councilor Piazza, Councilor Sheffield, Councilor Norris, Deputy Mayor Depot, and Councilor Artali are present.
Okay. Please stand to salute the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognitions, awards, memorial, councilors? Nope. Okay, I have one from Saturday. Saturday, we had a, excuse me, Black History Month celebration, and we had a proclamation for Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month grew out of the establishment in 1926 of Negro History Week by Dr. Carter G. Woodson and the Association of the Study of African American Life and History. And whereas in 1976, as part of the nation's bicentennial, Black History Week was expanded and became established as Black History Month and now celebrated all over North America. And whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas every year the Association for the Study of African American Life and History sets for Black History Month, and the 2025 national theme is African Americans and Labor. And whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas the City of Groton continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential contributions in our community, the state, the country, and the world. Hold on. And whereas the City of Groton is proud to honor the history and contributions of African Americans in our community throughout our state and nation, now therefore I, Keith Hedrick, Mayor of the City of Groton, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the city in recognition of African Americans past and present in our community, do hereby proclaim February 2025 to be Black History Month. The City of Groton and I encourage all citizens to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all. In witness thereof, I've hereunto set my hand and affix the official seal of the City of Groton this first day of February 2025. Signed, Keith Hedrick, Mayor, City of Groton. Okay. We will move on to receipt of citizens' petitions. Receipt of citizens' petitions is a portion of the council meeting where the council recognizes comments from citizens. To address the council, please sign a sheet on the table in the front of the meeting room. When you're recognized, please approach the podium. Clearly state your name and address. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit emailed or written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to the City of Groton. City councilors will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and can respond during the response to citizens' petition portion of the meeting. City Clerk, do we have anyone signed up?
I do not, but we do have
Okay.
someone
Is there
possibly.
anyone in the audience? No?
Yes.
Well, I was coming to Zoom in just a second. So we have no one in the audience. Ms. Patrick, do you wish to speak?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you have the floor. You have 5 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Deborah Patrick, 8 Mellow Avenue. My main reason for speaking this evening is that in 2011, the city embarked on a charter revision. I believe that it's probably time for the city to once again look at the charter. So I'm asking the council to please look into doing this. You would need about an 18-month period for a charter revision to take place. And I also wanted to give you lots of notice because it's a rather expensive proposition because of the public hearings that need to be advertised, as well as advertising of any and all changes that might be made to the charter in a newspaper. So you would need time to add that into next year's fiscal budget. There are a few things that I think would need to be changed, and things that I've probably thought should be changed over the last 10 years. One of them is that the clerk's position should be made a professional position and taken out of the elected positions. I think that that would be a better option for the city than to keep it as an elected position, because then you would have more continuity, which only serves the city better than the possibility of having change every so many years. And I also would like to say that I wanted to thank Parks and Rec Director Mary Hill for all of her continued efforts to improve our parks and our other facilities. I know that there's a lot of work going on at Washington Park, and I'm really happy to see that, because we need to have those facilities in the best order they can be to serve our residents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any clarifying questions? All right, Councilor Piazza, clarifying question only?
My clarifying question is, Ms. Patrick, you mentioned one thing and recognized Mary Hill. Are there other things that were interest of you in the charter?
There are a few other things, but those really aren't things that I want to get into tonight. Those are probably things that I would get into at a public hearing.
Then I had a clarifying question, or a question maybe to you, Mary Hedrick, is how often is a charter usually revised? And is it, reviewed so many years?
There's no periodic review, no periodic requirement. It's just that if people think that the charter needs to be revised based on what's going on now versus what's in the charter, then it'll come in. It takes, the process takes about 18 months. The other thing that's important is to try, so you have to have an election, but you have to have a certain percentage of the electorate to come out. And typically we try to time it so that the voting on the charter change is tied to a major election and not just stand alone by itself. So, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, any other clarifying questions? Okay, we'll move on to response to citizens' petitions, comments. I'll open the floor to council. Deputy Mayor Depot.
I just wanted to say I was gonna comment that if there's any other topics that maybe Ms. Patrick would be willing to email them. But if she's wanting to wait till, till we had a public hearing, that's fine. But I think, if any resident has thoughts on things that we should revise in the charter, they can send those to us anytime. I think that commentary is always helpful. Again, I think good ideas come from lots of different places. So if people have ideas of what we should change in the charter, I think that's a good place to start if people want to send those in. That's my only response to that. I do think it's always good to review things.
Okay, anyone else? Councilor Sheffield.
Yeah, to follow up on when a revision should probably start, which would be more than likely better off after an election when a new council is seated, and then have that same council have the time to review and hope to have a decision before the next election if it's a 18-month process, so we don't have a stagger in between different members of the council. So that would be my suggestion for that, is, like I said, on that election to start and after, and then that new council could do that full review for that whole period of time of the term of their time on the council. So
Thank you. All right, moving on, approval of the minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the mayor and council meeting minutes of January 21st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Any abstentions? No. Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Actually, it was unanimous. All right, I'll take a motion to approve the committee of the whole meeting minutes for January 27th, 2025.
So move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Councilor Talley, did you say?
She did.
Okay, all right.
Aye.
All right, got it. I just didn't hear you. I think you and Deputy Mayor Depot spoke at the same time, so I missed it. All right, motion passes unanimous. All right, communications and reports. We'll start with Councilor Piazza,
Nothing to report?
Councilor Sheffield.
Attended the Black History event this past Saturday. The mayor was obviously present. Juliet Parker, the MC of the event, and again did an outstanding job. I'd like to thank the members of St. John's Church for their attendance and support. Gary St. Ville from the town councilor for the town of Ledyard for his keynote speech. He made a very inspirational speech for this event, and he's a wonderful leader here in the community. And Councilor Jill Rusk was in attendance, a member of the city, as well as our other town councilor, Dan Gajewski, yep, who's running for state rep. So he was there as well. So it was a inspirational event, and you know, with all the national climate going on politically, you know, we hope that Black History Month stays with us through all the communities across the country, and not have it be reduced to not much. And that's my fear is as we go forward. So, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Norris.
Nothing to report, Your Honor.
Councilor Talley.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. On the 24th, I volunteered at the mobile food pantry with United Way. I delivered to 25 residents, I think, which is the most I've ever done. I think because it was cold, I had a few extra calls. And I just wanted to let everyone know that there is going to be an additional mobile food pantry pop-up at the senior center, at the Thrive 55 Senior Center on Newtown Road on the 10th of February. So that's coming up next week. It's at 4:30, and United Way has requested that people bring their own bags because it's a walk-up one. But that's they've gotten additional funding for a couple. They're going to do 4 this year at the senior center. One in February, one in May, one in August, and one in November. So keep an eye out for those flyers, and I will always mention them at our meetings, of course, but it's nice to have one kind of in between those other two, you know, the ones in Groton, because the next one isn't until the end of the month at St. John's Christian Church. It's on the 28th of February. So there's going to be an additional one at the senior center on the 10th. Bring your bags. It's at 4:30 in the evening. And if you have any questions, you can contact United Way or the senior center. I'm sure they'll give you details. And I'm sure United Way has sent info to the city as well. But the next one in Groton City is at St. John's on the 28th at 12:30. And of course, if anyone needs food in the meantime, I know everyone's stretched thin with the price of groceries now. You can always call Groton Human Services, and they have a pantry as well that you can make an appointment and go get food. That's all.
Okay. So a couple things. On Friday, I attended Eastern Connecticut Chamber of Commerce event with Congressman Joe Courtney And he gave us basically a lay of the land and the way going forward with things that are going on. There's a lot of turmoil that's out and about, and I know a lot of people are, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? You gotta let that go through. There's processes that have to be followed regardless of what is being said. You still gotta follow the process, still gotta follow the Constitution, and the Congress still has the power of the purse. And then today, I attended Electric Boat's legislative briefing, and the outlook for Electric Boat is good, looking good for the next 30 years with what they're building. Challenges include housing, staffing, finding the appropriately trained staffing, and locally here, we have challenges with parking. But those are things that are going on in our backyard. City Clerk, do you have any?
Do not, thank
Okay.
you.
All right, we'll move on. Committee referrals. Are there any committee referrals? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to new business. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-25-02-05. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize a purchase order to Martin Brogy Incorporated Environmental Services, 28 Arbor Lave, Madison, Connecticut, to provide a soil sampling program for Lake George at Washington Park in an amount not to exceed $12,850.00, to be paid from professional services in the Park and Recreation Department's operating account. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Before we move on, I did forget one thing. So this council approved a donation of $1,000 to the Submarine Veterans Incorporated Sub-Vets, and we received a thank you for that. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, Councilor Sheffield?
Resolution R-25-02-06. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the City of Groton Park rules. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Counselor Norris.
R-25-0207. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the fiscal year 2026 highway budget, department budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. I do have Public Works Director here. If you have any additional questions, is there any further discussion? Here, Deputy Mayor Depot.
My discussion is not on the budget specifically, but I was curious, do you know when, I forget when the deadline is for them to tell us who the 3-on-3 town councilors are, do you?
I have reached out to Mayor Franco. I'm awaiting a response. I gave her our list, and you're gonna be the chair for that meeting, and I'm waiting on her to respond. If I don't get something in the next couple of days, I'll reach out to her again. My expectation is try to do this in the early part of March. So, we received, notification today that we're going to the town council in March, I forget, and then in the RTM in April. So,
Okay. All right, thank you.
all right, is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Talley,
Okay, we're on resolution 8, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, resolution 25-02-08. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the fiscal year 2026 police department budget. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. I also have the chief here in the event the council has further questions. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. And Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-25-2-9. Scroll. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, it's several pages long.
Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council initially approve an amendment to ordinance number 250, an amendment to ordinance 215, establishing parking regulations in the city of Groton. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. The chief is also here in the event that the council has any other questions. I'll open the floor for discussion. Are there any questions? Deputy Mayor Depot?
I just want to thank the chief for his work on this, going through the whole ordinance that was there and looking at what we should replace. It's tedious, and I think it's a good step forward. I think it's something we've needed to do for a while. I think the residents, once it all comes out and the changes start happening, I think the residents will be very happy with it. So thank you, chief.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, council, for being here tonight. Good luck with your work.
Recording stopped.